Hey everyone, this is Zach, and before we start the battle, on the screen in front of you is going to be two teams. Now, this is going to be the team that I use next, and I want you guys to decide. So go ahead and let me know down in the comments below whether you want the Raichu team or the Sun team with Porygon Z. So don't forget to vote in the comments down below. Tell me which one you want to see, maybe give me a reason why. And also, while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. But anyways, let's get on to the episode. Hey everyone, it's Zach, and I just wanted to say, last episode we were able to finally make it to Master Ball, and I did so much battles in one day. I had so many recordings. I actually haven't played on this card in a week. So the other two teams that I talked about before the video started were the teams that I used to get to Master Ball on my second card. So anyways, now that we've gotten Copperajah to Master Ball, can we win a game in Master Ball? We're going to find that out today, hopefully. So I'm probably going to use this team for about 2 more episodes, give people a chance to vote for the next team, and whichever team doesn't get voted, I'll probably use that team in my next run up to Master Ball next season, because we've actually gotten pretty far in the month already. Okay, so we have our first trainer, and it's Pitu 7. So Arcanine, Duraludon, Sableye, Cinderace, Whimsicott, and Kingdra. So there's the option for Rain. I would have to say that's probably set up by Sableye. So I think Rillaboom is a good bring here, because if they do lead the Whimsicott Duraludon or the Whimsicott Cinderace, we're at least able to fake out. The Arcanine could be tricky because the Arcanine can threaten. Actually, let's lead Incineroar. That way we have the option to Parting Shot turn 1. We have the option to fake out if we need to, and we get the Intimidate off if they do lead the Cinderace. Let's go Rillaboom and Copperajah, because Copperajah can handle the Kingdra pretty well. As long as we can get some special defense boost, it can handle the Duraludon decently. But it's going to be a tough one, because this team really lacks on... It really depends on making a good lead. So basically every time I see Cinderace, I have to lead as if they're leading Cinderace, because if not, Cinderace can go unchecked and just like sweep the team. So we see the Duraludon and Arcanine. So Arcanine really doesn't threaten much here. And I want to say we might see Arcanine switch out, especially with Denteleon on the field. So I think a Burning Jealousy instead of a Fake Out would be really big. And I just want to try to get as much damage on this Duraludon as possible. And I don't necessarily want to Dynamax yet. So I think Ice Beam is our best shot for that. And we're Dynamaxing now, so it looks like Arcanine stays in. Probably going to try to get a Snarl off. And I want to say we probably see a Max Lightning come out from the Duraludon. But if they do anything to boost the stats, Burning Jealousy is going to burn them. We did some moderate chip damage. And there's the Snarl. So who did you go after, though? Did you Max Lightning and just take care of the Inteleon? Max Lightning, yeah. So that can be an issue, especially if they do have Cinderace in the back. So we should have snarled. So I think here we can just bring in Copperajah. We do have the Assault Vest, and a Snarl from Arcanine really won't affect us. And they don't have anything that can switch into a Max Quake. So I think here I want to Snarl, and I want to go ahead and Max Quake into the Arcanine slot. The question is, who do you target? Because a Will-O-Wisp against the Copperajah would be really big. So we're going to go ahead and see the Will-O-Wisp, and unfortunately it does land, so at this point, I don't know how well we're going to be able to do, and then the Max Whirlwind is going to bring down our attack. So we're going to Max Quake, but since we were not only burned, but we were given a -1 with Max Whirlwind, we are not going to do even enough damage to bring Arcanine down to 50%. No, absolutely not. So here I have to also try to like minimize their damage. So Arcanine can't really burn. Like, we could see a Flare Blitz come out. We could see a Flare Blitz come out into the Copperajah. But the Copperajah is really not threatening you. So I can't see them bringing the Flare Blitz until you chip down just a little more. We're going to see the Flamethrower. And it's actually into Incineroar. So they're just trying to get enough chip onto Incineroar to take it out. So we do Max Quake again into the Duraludon, and that damage is pathetic. And we're just going to continue snarling. And I want to say Duraludon switches out here. So we can go for max spikes and get our spikes off. That way when they start switching in to get rid of the snarl drops on special attack, they will take some chip damage. So Duraludon does switch out. It's actually going to be Sableye. Arcanine is going to protect to try to minimize the damage of Copperajah. And if it's eject button, Duraludon just gets a come in for free, but no, Sableye is going to take the Steel Spike. And once again, that does nothing. So the question is, what does Sableye do? Sableye can probably, it could carry Thunder Wave. Parting shot really doesn't benefit me at all at this moment. I could play rough into the Sableye. So Arcanine's going to draw out. Kingdra's going to come back in. And they're probably going to set up a Rain Dance here. And it's actually a Fake Out. So I want to say here, we can safely bring in Rillaboom and try to get some damage on the Kingdra, put it into range for a Grassy Glide. And there's the Rain Dance, so we'll probably see a Muddy Water from Kingdra here. And it's actually going to be a Hydro Pump. So you go into the Copperajah, and we see that the Kingdra's Life Orb. And I think that's a crit. Yes. So Copperajah just sitting on the field is actually pretty beneficial. And the thing is, does your Kingdra like stay in? I want to say that like I might get hit with a Quash. So I just want to try to play rough again into the Kingdra. We'll get an Intimidate off, and that really doesn't do anything. Sableye probably has only Fake Out. And there's that Quash, so I don't think Senor lives it. And we do take out the Kingdra, so I mean we're moving here. Arcanine can just come back in and get an Intimidate off on both of these Mons, which is going to be pretty bad, counting on the fact that Copperajah is already neutered to begin with, and there's the Arcanine. So there's no reason not to bring in the Arcanine. Steel Spikes is going to get some damage and put Arcanine in berry range. So that should probably be a Citrus Berry. Yeah. So let's Fake Out the Arcanine and just high horsepower into it. Because they might have thought that we didn't have Fake Out on Rillaboom because we switched out. Okay, so we're going to see the Fake Out from Rillaboom, and unless we get a crit on high horsepower, I don't think that it's going to do very much. And they do knock off our Assault Vest. Yeah, it's not going to do that much. So the thing is how much damage does Grassy Glide do into the Arcanine? We are Muscle Band, but it's not very effective. We'll continue to high horsepower into the Arcanine. And that doesn't do much from Sableye. We do miss the Will-O-Wisp. You're going to knock off our Muscle Band. And we miss the high horsepower. So this, I mean, once the rain goes, like, this Arcanine, like, has this battle won. And that's not even mentioning the Duraludon in the back, so. We do knock out the Sableye. And we'll see a Flamethrower come out. Into the Copperajah, but we're +3 special defense. And as much as I want to say that, like, I should try to hit the Duraludon, I should probably try to hit the Arcanine more. And the grass actually disappears, so we'll lose the speed priority. So since we're losing the speed priority, we can probably just knock off into the Arcanine. And we'll try another high horsepower. We have to, like, hope for a crit in some way, shape, or form. That or Rillaboom survives. So okay, so we're gonna see Flamethrower come out. The rain's gone, so this is gonna do a lot. And that's just enough to take out Copperajah after the Assault Vest leaves. What does Duraludon do though? Draco Meteor. And that does nothing. So, I mean, this battle's been over for a while, but I think I'm going to officially end it here. And my opponent is probably wondering why I drew that out way longer than it had to be. But, you know, it's been a while since I played with this team, so. I think it's clear to see with how physical this team is, and how physical the metagame is right now, especially with, like, Cinderace and Tyranitar and Rillaboom being so prevalent in the top played mons, how strong Will-O-Wisp can be when it's played really well. And it's something I thought about putting on Incineroar, but Burning Jealousy can double burn if we live a max move, and Incineroar just doesn't have enough slots. Because I want the Snarl to bring down special attack, I want the Parting Shot to get switch outs, I want the Fake Out, I want the Burning Jealousy. So what do I take away for Will-O-Wisp? And here is a scary setup, because you can lead Torkoal Venusaur and just Sleep Powder. You can go Comfey Lapras and prop the weakness policy. You can go Raichu Pincurchin. So it's been a while since I actually led these two, so I think this would be something good. and I want to say Togekiss and Rillaboom. So who do you lead? Because like, that's all their team is just strong leads. It's just 3 sets of pairs, which can be good, but if you have to switch in and out. So it's Raichu, Venusaur. So there's no fake out, but I do have to worry about the sleep powder. Here I'm going to high horsepower and go ahead and coach Copperajah. So you bring in Torkoal instead. So I want to say like the sleep powder here is super safe on Copperajah. You see the Rolly, you know that's not going to do anything offensively, and instead you just max. So we could have actually really benefited from maxing and getting the max Quake off and getting that special defense boost, because even though Copperajah resisted, this is still going to take a lot. So max, you actually go for the max flare. And that, see, that would have taken it out if we would have maxed. Let's go ahead and copycat. Because the last move used was high horsepower, so we can get high horsepower out and get some chip on Venusaur. And you're going to go ahead and lay down the lashes. Bring us down to our sash, but the Vine Lash is going to knock us out. And we see the Heat Wave, so Copperajah is done. So who do I max here? Because both of these mons are threatened by a max ooze from Venusaur. Let's go ahead and max darkness into the Torkoal and try to get a follow me off. And you're actually going to withdraw Torkoal. So Pincurchin is going to come in and take away the terrain. And now Raichu can just come in afterwards and just like sweep. I wonder what they carry on their Pincurchin. Action Cox carried the Life Orb on his, but I didn't want to do that, so I went for just a Recovery Berry to keep Pincurchin on the field for longer. And I wonder if there's a more optimal item that you could give him. So we're going to go ahead and follow me. We're going to see the Max Ooze come out. And hopefully this is enough just to take out the Pincurchin. And it's absolutely not. So you can't sleep powder. Let's just max darkness again into the Venusaur and go ahead and launch a Dazzling Gleam because one of my mons are going down. You're going to chip us with Sucker Punch, and it is actually the Life Orb Pincurchin and Weather Ball. Rillaboom survives. And we almost take out the Venusaur. Vines is going to take out Togekiss. And that is definitely match. And Raichu's just going to come in and Rising Voltage and go ahead and take out the Rillaboom here. And even then, Venusaur still outspeeds it, so... Well, you can't win them all. You actually can't win half of them most of the time. But you got to see how to play this team and how not to play this team. So it wasn't the best episode for me, but it's still an episode. And I knew once I actually got this team into Master Ball, it was going to be a lot more challenging. There's just so much Sun and Cinderace running around. Just like at the beginning when we first started moving our way up to Master Ball, there's a lot of challenges, and Copperajah wasn't a good bring to handle it. But anyways, let me know how you felt about watching me get my butt kicked in the comments down below. And while you're down there, do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to vote for what team you want to see next, or even that, vote for the team that you would rather see me climb to Master Ball next season. But anyways, I'm Zach, and I'll see you guys later.